Hello, and welcome back, or welcome to Pizza's podcast. Today we're doing something special. And Mama, you're not allowed to gift sub before I get on here, okay? But I love you. Thank you very much. Today we're talking about something special. A really big topic. We're talking about customer service. Although that's a very broad subject. We're talking about the darkness. The deep darkness that is part of customer service that nobody likes to talk about. Although there is lots of videos about Karens on the internet. But we're talking about customer service nightmares. And I have few beautiful guests who are going to join me and talk about our horror stories, horror stories today. So hope you can sit back in your comfy chair, grab your cat, grab your favorite beverage, and let's get on with the nightmare, shall we? Let's bring on my guests. You know both, well, you should know both of them because both of them have been on my podcast before, and one has a very strong magical presence in my chat. We have the great Kylex and the amazing Lexi Lou. Let's bring them on, shall we? Yes. Shall we bring them on? Guys, are you still there or did you fall asleep?
I'm not asleep yet.
Hi, Kyle. Okay.
Hi.
All right. So we're going to have a fun topic today. Yes, guys? Mm-hmm.
Oh, our life has brought us to this moment.
All my life decisions have brought me to this exact moment.
Yes. I mean, this is going to be not only amazing, but therapeutic at the same time. Because it's really good to vent about just how bad sometimes customer service can get. Because I think it should be mandatory that everybody should do at least 2 years in customer service. So you know what those poor people have to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
At the very least, they should do it, yes.
Yes.
True. Also, Lizzie, people are saying that we're quiet.
Oh, see, I told you.
Oh, we can't hear you.
The sound looks good on Discord, but when it goes on to the streaming thingy you use, it goes low. So you gotta
hike it up.
I literally thought someone was like taking a spin on my second name saying Kyle is low. Like, you know, that was literally my second name.
All right, let me turn this down here. So great. It's so great to be a streamer. Nothing ever works.
I may be far away, but I am close to your heart.
Oh,
that sounds romantic.
It does. I should use that in some kind of.
So close yet so far.
So, how about that? Is that better? Guys, tell me.
Are we sounding better now? Yeah.
Are we sounding like we're in the same room now? Are we here?
Or are they still sitting back in a corner where I'm like mouthing the microphone?
Do we sound like we're actually better, or do we still sound like we're in the pit of despair?
A little better. I think the chat want to speak to the manager.
They want to speak to the manager?
Damn, the manager is not here right now. I can take your call.
Still in the next room. All right. We're going to have to do some more adjusting.
Gonna have to do some extreme work here. Oh my goodness. You should employ more people.
I'm sorry. We're low staff today. How about this? Is this better? Better
now? Have we increased?
Have you increased volume?
Can you hear us better now?
Na.
50%. I'm one of the braves that listens to Lizzie at 100%.
Yeah, I don't know why you do that.
Then I fall asleep sometimes.
I don't know why.
Wow.
Yes. We're lowering my loud ass a little bit.
I've fallen asleep so many times to Lizzie, and then I woke up in someone else's stream, and I'm like, what? Who?
I don't understand this.
How did I get here? Who are you?
It's like, what? You're not loud. You're not obnoxious.
Not gonna lie, once I fell asleep through her stream, through the person she rated stream, and I woke up in the next one.
Oh wow, you went on like a raid train.
Truly.
All right,
Like you,
thank
you
you.
missed your stop by 2.
Yeah, we're getting better reviews now. Maybe I was just too loud. All
We
right.
are nothing in comparison to you.
Yeah. Doom, I also do not get paid. I mean, I do get paid in love and notebook photos, so that makes me happy.
I get paid and then I spend my money on notebooks. So,
I mean, can I judge you? We all know what I did at the bookstore the other day. Can I judge you? Can I?
yes,
cannot.
and Kyle buys Jigglypuffs, so it's good. We're all good.
I
I'm not good.
believe I should get them for free at this point.
He has an amazing collection. He'll have to show you sometime.
It's
They're
not
great.
enough.
me, it
It's
would
not enough.
Yeah, it's
I'm
Same
beautiful.
for me, but it's with books. I should be getting them for free. People should pay me to read. I'd be
They should
so
pay
happy.
you
if
to
that
read. They should pay you to do
Yes.
reviews. But of course, we're getting off
Yes.
topic here.
happened.
It's true.
Sorry.
Okay, so give a general description, Lexi Lou, of what you do at work.
I work for a call center and an ISP provider for 9 years now, and it's as terrible and awful as it sounds.
But she gets to work from home, so she has one benefit.
I mean, I get to work from home since COVID because they sent me home on COVID and they were like, "Oh, you've been a good employee for so long. Do you want to sign a 3-year contract where you get to work from home?" And I'm like, "Not having to see your ugly faces every day, bitch, sign me up." And I got signed up. And also, I'm Portuguese.
Congratulations.
And
Yes.
Nana, I've told you, if I knew where the gold is, babe, I would totally give it to you. We
You
don't
give
even
the
know where the
gold.
gold is. Someone stole the gold from us too. I have no idea where it is. But if I
Okay.
find it, I'll share though. I'll share.
I think any type of phone customer service has to be one of the most horrific things ever, because people get ballsier and can yell at you more on the phone.
They do. One specific example I use to show how that happens is the ISP provider where I work for it has stores, so they have in-store customer care as well. And I'm actually a customer of that, provider. So once I went to the store to take care of something of my own, and I was already working at the call center. And I was just chatting to the attendant. We were talking, and a dude walks up to the attendant that was next to me, and he was like, "Oh, you see, I didn't pay my invoices, and I want to be able to reactivate my service. How can I do that?" And she looked at him and said, "Okay, so your service to be reactivated, you're gonna have to pay all the invoices you have left. You're gonna have to pay 120 euros fee, and only after everything of that is paid can we actually reactivate your service." And I tell you, the man looked at her and be like, "Oh, thank you very much. I'll be sure to come back then. Goodbye. Have a wonderful day." And he left. And I turned to her and said, "You know, if I said that on the phone, he would call me all the names in the book and then some.
It's true.
You know, he would do that."
It's absolutely true.
And like, people have no shame when they're on the phone. They
No.
have no shame.
No, they grow bigger balls, and it's like, no, I'm better than you now because you can't punch me in the face.
Yeah. And I pay for your salary. My calls pay for your salary. Bitch, you can't even pay your invoices. How are you going to pay my salary?
Kyle, a general description of what you do.
I am a sales advisor in an undisclosed electronic shop that specializes
God.
in mobile phones. So you can only imagine how everything is going to be my responsibility, my fault.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
must know everything because it's their life. Hey, you need this. You blah 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 blah. It's never ending. It's never ending. Hair going grey. People crawling up at the door before opening, scratching it, wanting in. May as well open the shutter themselves, slip in, clock in, and tell me how they do it better.
I love that. Oh my god, that's gotta be horrific.
it's the shopping center life, I tell you.
Oh my god. Oh, that's horrible. Horrible. Okay. And you guys know what I do. I am a bank teller, essentially, for a hospital. So it's kind of like a credit union. You get loans and stuff through there. And people, believe me, not know what they're doing with their money, nor do they know how much they have in their accounts, nor their account numbers, ever. So it's always a struggle. It's like I don't know how to help you if you don't give me any information, okay? They give me their ID, and it's like, what you want me to do with that, okay?
Oh my god, literally. I have to say, Banana DLC literally just described it exactly what it's like. That is
Yes.
literally an everyday occurrence. I'm not even joking.
Yes. Okay. It's really bad. It's really bad. But as Banana was saying there, it's usually the full blame ends up on the bottom guy. The bottom guy who does all of the work but doesn't get any benefits. But it doesn't have it. But all the problems fall onto them. It's the hierarchy tree. You know what I mean? The CEO just sits there and watches from his glass tower and drinks Chardonnay while he
jack off in their office.
Right, and beats on his assistant, and whose assistant beats on the manager who micromanages his poor associates who just want to pay their damn bills so they have heat and food. So it's just a hierarchy of hell. And God forbid you get one of those managers, the super tyrants, you know what I mean? One of the ones that have to watch you and be up your butt cheeks.
Is that the air quote manager?
Can I speak to your manager?
No.
All right. Yeah.
I love when they ask to speak to the manager and you're like, ma'am, that manager knows less than I do.
Well, they've been there as long as you, Lexi.
I'm like, that's a walk I cannot be bothered making.
I gotta say, my supervisor has been there longer than me, but I can do my job better than he could. So, take from that what you will.
Oh, Nana, about the gambling. Oh my God, there's a casino in the city I live, and they all go there, and that's usually on payday. They come and get $200 out, and then come to me at the end of the month, and it's like, why don't I have any money? Because you fucking spend it on the casino machines. That's why.
Casinos,
Don't yell at me.
The rich people thing.
Yeah, no, they're not rich. They're just hoping to win big on it.
Oh
so.
no, that's sad. Oh no.
Yeah, they do that a lot. There's a lot of gambling issues apparently in this hospital, but that's okay. We're not getting into that.
No, this is not what we're here to talk about.
No. More importantly, we're here to talk about. I don't want to use the trendy title, but Karens and Carls, and the entitlement. And all of that. People, just basically the steps that goes through. I'm sure every one of you, if you work in customer service, whether it be hospitality, retail, tech support, always poor tech support people, hospitals, anything like that, has experienced the different levels of Karens. You have the one that wants to speak to the manager over a coupon that clearly has been expired for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get the other person who doesn't get their way and slowly increases the volume of their voice to try to embarrass you. But unfortunately, if you have like the body armor of a retail clerk, you just look at them. It's like the louder you yell, it's not gonna help. I'm still not gonna do what you say. But yeah, they like to make people cry. I think that's their goal. I don't know. I don't know if you guys experience the volume increasing people, but we get that a lot of those here in the US. The louder they are, they think they can embarrass you and get what they want.
Oh, for sure. People think the louder they raise their voice, the more kind of they come in and they feel like I am at the top here. You are paid to be my slave, and what I say, the word is God.
Yes.
And they think you're not going to say anything back. And then sometimes when you do like hold your own and you stay above it, and they start to realize, oh shit, this is not working.
Yes.
I must say, tactical retreat.
Yes, tactical retreat. Yes.
I gotta admit, in Mike.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, in my case, I'm lucky because the fact that I'm on the phone means I can just end the interaction. And usually, my company, we have the thing that if they start to insult me, I can, just hang up the call. I have a script I can say, and then I can hang up the call. The thing is, I have a lot of years in this house, which means that I have some tiny privileges. Like if they start yelling at me, the first thing I say is, I'm going to ask you to reduce the volume of your voice. Otherwise, I'm going to end this call because I'm not here so you can scream at me. And that usually makes them scream a bit more, which means I can hang up the call faster. So I'm not supposed to, but no one's going to complain at me because I have, I've been there for 9 years, so they're not going to say that I can hang up a call when the customer is rude. But I think it's the privilege. I'm gonna actually say, at least in my company, it's the privilege of being on the phone. I can just hang up and the person will go and smash a wall or something.
But
to
you can
stop
also
being mad.
roll your eyes a lot, because when I worked at the
Oh yes.
the
God, and I
credit
can
reporting
mute and insult
agency,
them.
basically these people would have like so many collections, and I was talking to them, and they're like screaming at me. It's like, you sir, I'm not going to help you, or not be able to help you if you're using explicatives at me. I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
It's like, can I speak to your manager? Yeah, he's gonna tell you the same fucking thing, but okay, I'll transfer. Go ahead, go yell at Bob, because he really doesn't care. He's leaving in like 2 weeks.
That reminds me. There's a colleague of mine who once he was so tired of everything that he put in his 2 weeks or a month notice, and he was on his last day, like 10 minutes before leaving. He was just saying, fuck all of this, and he got a call that was one of the difficult call we have. It was from a technician at a location that needs support, and the dude was like, "Nah, fuck this. This is my last call." And he turned to the technician and was like, "Okay, I'm gonna ask you to hold while I do everything here. Okay, just hold a minute." He puts the call on hold. He grabs his phone, plays a bit, gives it like 3 minutes, goes back. Yeah, everything is done. Just try again. If it doesn't work, call us back. That's it. And he left. And it was just like, fuck this, I'm not doing it. And honestly, he's my role model, and I hope that when I leave, I can also do the same.
People in the leaving mode, like, I'm in the middle of this because I've got a new job, but my credit vetting hasn't completed, so I can't be like, officially, notice has not been handed. So I'm like in this like middle, like, I want to care, but like, I've got this thing in my mind, I'm like, it doesn't matter anymore, but it still matters because I'm still here. And I haven't left yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be like to someone, you can just either be nice or go to that door and never come back and fuck off. Because I would love to tell people to piss off. I once told someone to clock in if they knew how to do it better than I did.
Oh my.
Satisfaction City that was, honestly. It was like, we were very busy. We're a very, very busy environment. We have people queuing outside our door. The only shop in the centre that has people queuing outside the door. And it's very visible that you can see each person is trying their hardest to get through the customer to get to the next one. And then someone marches up to me when I'm free and says, "Oh, slow service today." And I was like, "Oh, no, not really." And then she was like, "Oh, you think you would like be quicker?" And I said to her, I was like, "Well, do you want to clock in and see if you can do it faster?" And she went, "Oh, no. I work for NHS and people die." And I'm like, "Well, I can guarantee no one's dying in a phone shop. What do you want?"
That's great.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the entitlement just went up like 50 pegs. It's like, seriously? Can you not see me busy?
Yeah. And then she just kind of felt out and went, "Okay, like, I literally need help, so I can't be sassy to you anymore." And I'm like,
I can't do it.
That thing about no one dying remembers me when new people are starting at the call center. One thing that we usually tell them is like, yeah, this isn't the emergency room. People can wait. They're not gonna die if they wait a bit while you learn how to do stuff. If they're angry, they can just turn off the call, go on with their lives, and come back when they can act like an adult. We usually say that to the newbies because they're panicking because people are yelling at them, and we're like, if he doesn't want to wait, he can fuck off.
Yes.
Yes. So, with your jobs, do either of you have a automated call like series to go through before they actually get to the line where they're supposed to go?
In theory, yes. So I work in the store, and we have a air quote customer services who do cancellations and support, so you don't have to come into the store, and it's an automated assistant, and it comes with common sense. You cannot speak to a robot as you speak to a person, so you need to give it simplified, concise, clear answers, not a sentence. Everyone that comes in says, "I can't get through to your customer services. They're rubbish. The robot puts you round and round in circles. It is rubbish, and I want to speak to customer service. I want to cancel the account." And I was like, "Well, I will give you a phone. I will dial the number, and I say, speak to someone, and I put it through." And they cannot get this concept. I'm like, it's a robot. You cannot speak to it like a person. Customer services are great. You just don't know how to get through, talk to a robot. You are the problem. But no, you can't tell people that they're the problem, because this is the problem.
What were you gonna say, Lexi?
My job, there's a whole. Well, first, I don't directly answer calls at the moment because I've been working as a second line assistant for a while, so I make the calls. But there is, uh, the automatic, the robot voice before they actually get into calls.
Mhm.
And I gotta admit, ours is so confusing. Even I, as a customer who works at the company, am so frustrated whenever I have to call, and I'm like, God, just shut up and listen, because you're like, assistant. I cannot understand what he's saying. What do you want? I'm like, transfer me to an assistant. To better help you, I need you to specify what your problem is. And I'm like,
Just
if I
scream,
explain, you're not gonna know what it is.
"Representative!"
It's awful. Like, it's really bad. We're constantly giving them feedback. They're like, it's bad. You can improve this AI. It can be highly improved. It can actually be useful. It is
That
not
costs
useful
money.
right now.
Yes, yes,
Exactly. That's the main problem. It
Money.
costs money. They don't want to spend money. And then they're like, we don't know why the customers don't like the AI. Bitch, we don't like the AI and we work
No
for
one
you.
likes AI. I give my customers the hack. I'm like, just say, speak to someone 2 times. The robot goes, I can understand this concept. I have to put you to a person now. If
Oh
I
my
say,
God,
if you
that
speak to the,
works?
you say speak to someone, and it goes, I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Speak to someone. It goes, okay. I transfer you to our agent now. You can speak to someone because
Oh
the
my God.
robot it picks buzzwords, so then it puts you to this other thing and this other thing. You just break the robot, it puts you to a person.
Oh.
Unfortunately, ours used to do that. Like,
Yeah.
ours, if you said assistant, it would be like, do you want help with mobile or with fixed service? And you'd be like, mobile. Okay, I'm going to transfer you. And they would do that. Now, no, if you ask assistant, you will have to specify what you want. Like, assistant, you will have to specify what you want. And it will be on the loop until you tell it something. And then you're
Oh,
like, okay,
no.
deactivation, because you want to deactivate something on your phone. It's going to send you like you want to cancel your contract. And then whoever answers your call will be like, oh yeah, you're not supposed to be here. I'm gonna transfer you. And then they transfer you, and then when you notice, you've been 30 minutes being transferred from site to site to site.
Then they're
It's
really
awful.
angry. I love it because I worked at basically it's a pharmacy slash front store. It's called CVS over here in America. So I worked in both sections, and it would get really busy probably around 11:30, near 12 o'clock. And then all of the calls from the pharmacy, which are going nonstop from all the doctors and the people getting prescriptions filled and everything. But and then that would be sent up front, and the people would be screaming at the people up front because they can't get to the pharmacy. It's like, I can't do anything. Okay, we're short-staffed. I will send you back to the pharmacy, which is going to send you back here. So you're going to be in a revolving loop for the next 5 minutes. I apologize. Like, I can't stand that automated system. I know it's 2 minutes long. I hate it too, but there's nothing I can do. Okay. Really, it is 2 minutes long of beeping to the right direction. It's like, seriously, does it have to be that long? It's irritating.
It's so stupid. It's like they don't have an interest of actually having things that are intuitive and that people can use. They just want something so it shows that it's there. Like, my company recently did a survey this winter on why external employees weren't as happy as internal employees because we're outsourced. And they did this survey because they wanted to know our feedback. Well, surprise, surprise, all the feedback was negative. Yeah, right. Who's surprised? No one. I mean, they were. And one of the feedbacks that people said was that there wasn't a way for us to see what options and careers were opening within the actual company, so we could stop being outsourced and we can, actually go to the company. And they sent an email like it was the biggest invention in the world. They were like, we have what you've requested. We were able to make it up. You know what they sent? They sent the careers page from their website. And I'm like, bitch, that has existed for over 10 years. That's how I actually applied. That's not new. That's been there.
That's ancient history, that baby.
Yeah, but they're like, it's so new. We got it just for you guys. And I'm like, no, you didn't, you fucking liar.
Yes, the I don't know if it's like this where you guys are, but they like to throw in the FUs and try to embarrass you.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So I'm just looking at
true.
them going, yes, I can say that word too, but I'd get fired. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to do that.
One of, one of my colleagues had this person walk in, like, they were aggressive and rude, and then she told them straight off, like, you need to can it, sir, and pack it in. Sit down. Stop being an ass. And then they got on later, and then he bought her flowers.
Oh,
God.
Yeah.
Look at that
And
turnaround.
she is just one of those people that is like straight to the point, honest, never gonna change, fierce. I have seen her shoot down so many people, and this one person was literally shouting at her, and she was like, I feel like you're taking out of me. You're taking this out of me. And the person was like, oh, no, oh, no, I'm not against you. No, I don't, no. And then they sat down and felt so guilty because she was just honest, like, I feel like you're taking this out on me. You're making this personal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god,
And
I
we're
wish
just
that,
like, no.
I wish that worked. Oh my god, that doesn't work in Portugal. Like one of the things that customers in Portugal will tell you is, I know you're not to blame and that you're just an assistant, but you're the one who's talking to me, so you're the one who's gonna listen. That's
Yeah, I get
Portuguese
that.
people's
Yeah, I know it's not
favorite
your fault, and I'm like, well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, they're like, I know it's not your fault. I'm like, you think I'm being paid minimum wage to listen to you? You think
No,
I make the
mm-mm.
decisions? Like,
Don't get
ma'am,
paid
I don't
enough.
make the decisions. Exactly.
People in customer service should get trauma pay, especially after COVID hit, because people forgot how to be human beings to other human beings. It just got
Yes, they
worse.
did.
I mean, it was worse. It was bad before, but now it's just worse. It's like, if you don't want to do
True.
this, if you don't want to come to a store and buy things because we get it wrong, or we're going too slow, or there's not enough people, we don't have what you want, buy it in the fucking store online.
Literally,
And-
like, I
and you
waited too
know-
long. I'm like, well, buy online.
And you know, one thing that's very annoying, and that I bet that Kyle's going to agree with, is that people, especially with, with the passing of time, people are becoming more and more entitled when it comes to technology.
Yes.
People will
very
legit
entitled.
tell you that this needs to work now and you need to solve it now because I work from home, or I use my phone to work, or I need this because I need to be in contact with you know who, and stuff like that. Like, if they have something broken or something not working or whatever, people will just flip out because it's not working. Like, we had huge floods in Lisbon this past winter, like huge floods. That was awful. Like, Jack can confirm it. It was awful. And obviously, it knocked down a lot of energy, electricity poles. It knocked down a lot of fiber boxes. It knocked down a bunch of important infrastructures. People were complaining that they didn't have internet. They were like, my internet isn't working. Yeah, no shit, bitch. You look outside the window, it's raining buckets. Like,
It's technology. It has to work.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
like, you must fix it. You're in a store. Fix my broadband. I'm like, how? Literally explain to me. You want me? Your broadband's not working, and tell you to call a certain service because I can't do it from here. But you think I should do it? I'm like, but how? Like, you know what? Let's go hold hands. Go to your house. Let me get a fucking drill a hole in your wall, and go boom, fix. Bye.
Oh god, yes. That, or I don't know if you have this, but there are people in Portugal that will legit put their internet router inside a cabinet and be like, why doesn't the Wi-Fi
Yes.
reach my room? And I'm like, bitch, have you seen where you place your router? Well, how are you expecting it to reach anything? Or like
It's
people who live in 3-story houses and the router is by the entrance
In
door.
the top, yeah.
It's on the 3rd floor, and they're like, didn't you promise me Wi-Fi all over the house? Like, yeah, bitch, but you live in a mansion. What do
There's some
you
people-
want me to do?
You find people that go, yes, I got to my internet and my phone isn't connected. I'm like, oh, okay. Have you put the code in it? The what? You know the password?
Yeah.
Like, no, I turned it on, and none of my devices are connected. It used to work on my old broadband. I'm like, yes, but
Oh,
you need to
God.
put the code in. What do you mean the code? I've never done this before. I'm like, you have got to be fucking joking me right now. Like, what do you think it's gonna do? It's gonna get, you put the broadband box. Oh, here comes the legs. Here comes the arms out the box. It's like, well, let's get those codes in your phone. Oh, perfect. Then we get my arms, my legs back in the box, and when you need me again, just tap me twice, and I'll come back out again. I'm a fucking genie. No, it's a piece of technology. You got to do it yourself.
Oh my
That's-
god. Okay, so it's not just in the U.S., so it's everywhere.
So universally,
Oh, yes,
look,
definitely.
Lizzie, when you work with people, real people, you discover that they're real,
Real
fucking
people.
stupid people. Like, real fucking stupid people.
Yes, it's just a level. Some levels are just not right. It's like how do you survive? It's
I
great.
wouldn't trust half my people to pour a bath. I think they would drown, quite frankly.
Drown in it.
They would drown in the shallow bath that they have made.
Oh my god, that reminds me. My first therapist, like, I went to a therapist for a while, and my first appointment, she was like, "So, tell me about yourself." And I'm like, "Okay." So I told her about myself, and I was like, "Oh, I hate people." And she was like, "Why do you hate people?" And I was like, "Ma'am, I work at a call center. What do you expect me to think? I literally will have to deal with the worst of the worst. You know how dumb people are? Have you tried explaining to someone how to open their text messages? Have you tried? Or how
Have you
to
tried to
turn on
explain
their
what a text
TV?
message is?
Yes,
True.
yes.
Or
It's
how
the
to
internet
turn
is
on-
a series of tubes.
Or be like 30 minutes with someone because my TV box is not working, and after those 30 minutes, you find out it's not connected to the electricity, and you're like, I
Yeah,
wonder
it's
why.
Have you tried turning your phone off? Yes, I press this. No, no, no. If you put it on standby, you need to turn it off, but it is off. No, it's not off.
Oh
It's
my god,
on
that reminds me.
standby.
Oh yeah, I remember. I think it was. I knew someone. I don't remember if it was a family member or not. That they thought that just closing the laptop lid that would turn off their laptop, and I'm like that's not how it works. You're not turning off it. You're
That's
just
not how-
closing the lid.
No, it's that's not how it works. Here. But technology confuses some people, so yeah. Alright, so
It's
we're
that I'm too old to learn this. I'm like, that is not true. I literally have a colleague who's 65, and she works it well. And people feel like they can say, "Oh, I'm too old. Oh, I wasn't born with it. Oh, no, like you're a human. You can learn anything at your own pace. You can choose to learn, or you can choose to be ignorant and pretend not to learn. You can learn.
True.
You're never too old to learn."
This actually reminds me of one of the stories that I spoke that I had ready for the podcast, and I think y'all gonna find funny. So, as I said, I work for an ISP provider. So we provide internet, we provide TV service, we provide landlines and phone numbers, mobile.
We have a
numbers and
somewhat
all that.
similar position. We have very similar positions.
Yeah, so I remember this was a couple years ago. Okay, so it was like in 2016, probably. I was doing email customer care for in-store agents. And one of the things that they did was they forward complaints from customers that were in store. And let me tell you, I'm not sure who was dumber, if the in-store agent or the customer. And why? Because they were complaining that their TV box, so ridiculous, their TV box the TV box has a weather widget, which tells you like how the weather is going to be in the next couple of days, right? So it turns out that the weather widget said it was going to rain. No, it said it was going to be sunny, and it rained. And the lady wanted to complain because she didn't pay for a home service for it to give bad weather predictions. And I was like, ma'am, we provide a lot of things, but we do not, as far as I know, have a weather station to predict the weather.
It's so true. Like, we're not affiliated with the weather. Come on, wake the fuck up.
I literally had to write, please inform customer that all weather predictions are given by the Portuguese Institute for the Sea and Atmosphere, which is the national entity responsible for weather predictions.
Oh
Not
my god,
blank
that's good.
company name.
But it would literally say that, though, like in a small bit, like, powered by whatever.
Exactly, it does. It does. It has like powered by IPMA, which is the short name of the institute. It says that. But people are like, well, it's on your TV box, so you're the one I have to complain. It's like when Netflix doesn't work and they call and they're like, Netflix isn't working. Yeah, and what do you want me
Do
to
I
do?
look like Netflix to you?
Literally, no, it's on your product, so everything,
Yes,
like everything on there
it's
for
your
it.
fault.
Yes.
You must do
Yeah.
everything. My emails don't work. I don't know my password. You look at me and I'm like, what's your password? I don't know. And I'm like, well,
That
what
that
did you
right
do? They
there.
go,
about
well,
that.
if you don't know who does, I'm like, I'm not your fucking brain. Like,
Right?
literally, like, I'm a technology person, but I can't make miracles. I'm not God. As much as I want to
True.
be, I'm not.
You know, people looking for their account. It's like we can look by your name or your social, and these people are just spouting their social off with a room full of people. I'm looking at, I was like, ma'am, you can't do that. What are you doing? Write it down or something, for fuck's sake.
Oh god, that reminds me. There are people who call. I mean, there haven't been that many lately, but I actually found I had some customers that would call and they'd be like, "Oh, can't you find me by name?" And I'm like, "Ma'am, we're the second biggest ISP provider in the fucking country. How many people do you think we have as a customer? Do you think I'm just what? Control F, write your first name, and you're gonna be the only. This would be
Control
funnier if I
F.
could say a Portuguese name that you would have. But like, imagine the person is named, I don't know, Jack or something, and you just type in Jack, and you're gonna be the only Jack in the entire country. Do you think that's how?
Literally. Come on.
Oh my god, yeah. Like, you should know. I don't know. I've only been working here. We're almost a year, but I still don't know everybody in the hospital, okay? So I don't know your information. They may have been working here for 40 years, but I haven't. So please get off my back. I don't know your entire life. They want to sit there and tell you your entire life story, too. It's like, please don't. Please don't.
Oh god,
Please
yeah.
don't.
Especially the old ladies, they will just talk and talk. You know, my husband used to, and you're like, oh god, ma'am, I know you're alone at home, but shut the fuck up.
I don't want to be rude to them, but oh my god, I have other people to help. The phone is ringing off the hook, and I can't sit here and listen to you about your cat. I'm sorry.
True.
I'm sorry. Okay, asking for the manager. Yeah, a lot of them do that when it's showing on your face that you don't give a shit. So they usually say, I want to talk to your manager. But sometimes some people have that manager that just lets the customer get away with everything. So you look like a dumbass for arguing with them. You're right, of course. But they let them have what they want. So now they walk out going, ha ha, I beat you. And you just want to say, go ahead, trip and fall on your face. I hope 1,000 fleas infect your genitals and you can't scratch it. Please get out of the store now. Okay? Get. I hate that.
Lizzie, mine does worse. Do you know what mine used to do? If I went to, like now it doesn't happen because I'm working from home, so I just tell the customer, yeah, my supervisor will call you back. And I send an email and he has to call them. But back when we were in person, like he was next to me, so I'll be like, hey, I have a customer who wants to talk to you. And he'll be like, okay, what does he want? And I'm like, he wants this. Oh, just give it to him. And I'm like, I literally just spent 30 minutes telling him I wasn't gonna give it. You want me to go back on a call and be like, oh, never mind what I just said. And just give him? Like, it was my supervisor has the tendency to do that. I had a supervisor though. She was the greatest. She was amazing. She would not do that. She would not put up with anyone's shit. And I remember once I had a customer that complained because I was explaining his invoice or something, and he was like, "Oh, do you have an accountant's degree or something like that?" And I'm like, "What? No, sir. I don't need an accountant's degree to know how to look at your invoice." Oh, I think you do. Pass me on to your supervisor. I want to speak with a man who can understand this. And I'm like, oh, yes, sir, I will. And I put him on hold and I go to my female supervisor and I'm like, someone wants to talk to you. and I tell her what's happening and she gets the call and she's like, so, sir, what can I help you?
Yeah, no.
And he actually had an accountant's degree and it was hilarious. It was amazing. I swear to God. Same thing happened with like one of the lines that I answer is for employees. So I answer, when employees have doubts, they can call us and we answer that. They're not supposed to ask for a supervisor because, obviously they're employees. So one of them decided to do that.
Oh.
And he got his ass handed to him by my supervisor and then by his supervisor because he actually happened to work at my location. So my supervisor, completely destroyed him on call. And then she was like, next time you come in for your shift, please meet your supervisor. We shall have a talk. And he came actually later that day and I saw them in a meeting room and he did not look happy. And I'm like, toots you right, bitch. Best karma ever.
But having the manager go behind your back and be like, no, that's fine. It's like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It just makes your head steam a little bit. It's like after trying to go by policy, and you're just like, nah, let's
Yeah.
go, because you don't want to get into an altercation with this lady. She's wrong, and customers are not always right. Sorry. Sorry. Whoever made that phrase should be kicked in the balls.
True.
Essentially.
Our supervisors, there was a time period where they didn't want to answer calls. So whenever they asked, they told us we had to try as much as we can not to pass the customer and stuff like that. Well, it turns out that everyone did that, because they asked us to. And enough people complained that they got an email from, the admin's office saying that they had to take all calls, no exception. It was so good. It was so good having to see them squirm because they had to talk to customers. So
They have to do their job now. Oh my god.
Oh my
no
God.
way.
imagine.
What?
What?
We
I
were
had an-
so mad.
I had
In
an old
fact,
supervisor that
once-
would sit in the office and watch Netflix on her shift and let everybody else do her work. I mean, literally,
Wizzy.
when shipments came in, we had to put it out. She's back there painting her toenails and watching Netflix, and we're sweating beads trying to get all this shit out. So the main manager doesn't yell at us the next morning, which he loved to do. He loved to get up on his soapbox, straighten his tie. Did you do this? Did you do that? The aisles were not faced. The medicine wasn't put back properly. It's like, dude, would you get the stick out of your ass? Your supervisor was back there watching TV.
Yeah, like come in and watch. They're not doing the job you're paying them for.
Yes, she's getting more than I am, and she's back there painting her toenails and talking on her phone. Please, okay, please.
You know what that reminds me? That reminds me once we're still in person, and I don't remember where it came from, but there was a request to speak with a customer. Customer wanted to speak with a supervisor, and it was an English customer. And I'm like, we have supervisors that can speak English. Heck, we have one that is an English teacher. He can speak English. But no, my supervisor decided that she wanted me to call him, pretend to be a supervisor. And I was like, so you want me to do fraud? And I actually had to call him, and I was talking as a supervisor, and I'm like, if you go and complain to someone about this, I'm fucked.
Right.
Let's go. What do you want? I was like, you know what? What do you want? You want money? How much money do I have to give you? And legit, the dude was like, you have to compensate me for this. And I was like, there's 200 euros seem good. And he was like, yeah, it seems good. Okay, you got it. It's yours. Have fun. Can I go now? Bye.
Can I go now, please?
And then my supervisor, what did you give him? I gave him 200 euros. What? You told me to make him happy. I made him happy. I gave him 200 euros. He's happy. Can I go? Bye. I can
Oh
tell
my
you,
God.
never again have I had to substitute a supervisor because she's the one who had to put the, she's the
that's
one who
good.
had to go in and put the money in the account because I didn't have I didn't have an authorization for that much money. Now I do. Now I have up to 250, but at the time we didn't. So she was the one that had to go and add it. So it's her fault.
So I've had a few bad managers, but the one that I had at the pharmacy was, let me tell you, he was the biggest hemorrhoid on the planet. Okay, he was super, super mean. You never did anything right, and God forbid you were late or were sick. Okay, you had to be in your deathbed in the hospital for him to accept you being sick. So when you called off and came back the next day, he wouldn't speak to you. He literally would give you the silent treatment. It's like, what do you want me to do? All right, fine, I'll just fucking sit here then. All right. What do you want me to do? He literally would not speak to you. I don't understand what it is with retail and not being able to be sick or needing time off because they look at you like you grew a third head. It's like, look
I
here.
don't understand them. I don't understand America not having time off because we have sick days and we have everything. And I know Kyle can probably back me up there because I know, the UK is similar to Portugal. We have a thing that it's called national health care. And if you need to skip work, you
Please
just
don't get me
skip it,
started
and
on
you still-
healthcare.
and you still get paid. You can skip work and get paid because you're sick.
No,
It's
we
amazing.
we get paid days. We get paid days off and vacation days, sick time.
No,
You
no, no,
gotta
babe,
earn
babe,
them.
babe.
You must earn them to get them
Yeah,
to
we-
off.
Yeah, we in Portugal we earn them by if you work. You can only have vacations after you work 6 months at a company. So 6 months you have to, work them. If you can be sick, because sick days are different. Sick days you can have as many as you need. Just ask your doctor, and he writes you a note, and you're good. She go, no problem. Vacations aid, they start being piled up after 6 months. But as long as you've been working for more than a year there, every year, without fail, you get 22 business days just for yourself. And 10 of those have to be taken in a row. So you need to have at least 2 weeks off work mandatory. You cannot leave any days off because if you leave days from one year to the other, you can only use them until March. Otherwise, they will be paid in money.
Okay. That's not
It's
too
amazing.
bad. That's not too bad.
I mean, I have a coworker who's been on leave sick since before COVID because she got cancer, so she went on sick leave. Then when their sick leave was ending, she got pregnant.
Oh my.
So now she's sick. She's on sick leave again because she's on maternity leave. And it was born like a week ago, so she's still got about 4 months left. Unless she pops another one out, she probably is going to come back to work. But since the beginning of COVID, since 2019, she was off before you even came home. So yeah, she's been on medical leave since 2019, and she's still getting paid.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah.
When I worked at
that's how it
the
works
credit
here too,
reporting
yeah.
place, they actually gave us FMLA for people who have like chronic anxiety or have chronic pain. They can take these days off. They're not paid, however, but they do give you time off, so you can take like 3 or 4 days off in a row without a doctor's note if you have this FMLA, but you have to get your doctor to sign off on it. And I think that's the only place that ever gave that option, because there's sometimes when you have an anxiety, you have the anxiety, you can't get out of bed and you keep freaking out and you're panicking and you can't work, so they give you this option. But otherwise, I mean, if you work in the regular retail setting, usually they don't give you stuff like that. Not here anyway.
Yeah, and here is mandatory in any job. You just have to have it. Period.
Yeah, no, we don't do that. Sorry, Kyle. What were you gonna say?
Well, I had a colleague that got signed off for like severe anxiety here, and I think she was off for like 2-3 weeks, and she got paid for it.
That.
Because it was a legal requirement, you know, if the doctor signs you off to say you are unable to work because it's a health risk or whatever, they have to pay you here. You can't.
You could have a bullet in you, and they still would make you work here. So.
Oh, like literally, like I
why I
called in
wouldn't-
sick one time, and it was literally in red on my rota for probably till today from my old job, and they would not let it go. And I called in sick once, and I had a headache, and I got accused of, you know, having a hangover, blah blah blah. And I was like, I was genuinely very unwell. And you feel like when you call in sick, like you're making it up, or you're a liar, or you shouldn't be off, and that, like, you know, feeds to anxiety and pressure, and makes you more unhappy at work because you're too scared to be like, I am genuinely not well enough to be at work. And it adds to the unwillingness when you're unwell and you have to call up and say, I can't come in, and you get this like analysis, a check, like they're a doctor, they have to check you. Can you come in and we can see? Like, no, I can't. You can't make me come in. I'm not coming in. Goodbye.
Right.
And you have to call.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to text. You have to call. Like, come
When
on.
I was working at the pet store, I forget what year it was, but me and hubby were in a pretty bad car accident on our way to work. We were running late, and the only time I didn't wear my seatbelt, and we got hit on the side really bad, and I dislocated my elbow. I mean, this sucker was way out. It was hanging down like past my knee. This thing was way out, and I was like, I called my manager. I was like, we won't be in, or my husband called. He's like, we won't be in. We were just in a car accident, and she's like, oh, okay, let me know what's happening. And I go to the hospital and everything, and I get myself reset, which was disgusting, by the way. The noise and shit. It's great.
Well, don't you want to know?
No, so basically, I was out of work for like 2 months for getting physical therapy to get this bitch to get working again. Because not being you don't know how important your other arm is until you can't button your pants yourself. It's ridiculous. But I couldn't work my job because I couldn't run the register. I couldn't lift any dog food or cat food or anything like that. And it's like, I had to take this time off, but it's like they said, fine, since you have a doctor's excuse for it, but you're not getting paid. So it's like, now where the fuck am I gonna do? How am I gonna pay my bills when I have to sit at home? It's like, oh my god, I was losing my mind. Luckily, I live with other people that helped me out, but seriously, this shit over here has to change. We need to, it's like, hey, go over to the UK, go over to Portugal, learn what they have, and then bring it back, because we need that shit, okay? We don't need a $650 bill for you to read my fucking radiology film, okay? Please.
Oh, no, yeah, that's just crazy. Because you know, working in your jobs, you have like was it health benefits or
yeah.
you know, like all that stuff included. Like, you know, when we work, I don't know about you in Portugal, but you know, it's not a thing like, oh, if I lose my job, I'm gonna lose my health insurance, blah blah. Like we don't have
we
any
don't
of that.
have that. It's just national health.
You
Exactly.
only get
Plus
that
your,
if you work. You get health
tax.
insurance and benefits if you work. Otherwise, you don't have anything at all.
Yeah, here now. In fact, unemployed people. That was back then. Now, no one like. If I go to a doctor's appointment, I don't pay. If I do blood test, like I have
Same.
blood
We
tests.
don't pay. Don't pay at
Yeah,
all.
I have blood tests that I have to go and get done because I had a doctor's appointment like a couple weeks ago, and it says here tax free. I don't pay.
I
It's
hate
free.
you. I hate
just
you
go
and
there
love you
I
at
do
the
it and
same
I come
time.
back.
Okay.
Like one thing that honestly really shocked me about American healthcare is that you can pay up to over 100K to have a baby, and I'm like, what do you mean you have to pay to have kids? Like,
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Because you're not
And
only
in
paying for
Portugal-
the room, you're paying for the emergency services, and you're paying for every doctor and nurse.
ma'am, in
It's like, oh my
Portugal,
God.
as soon as you get a positive pregnancy test and you say that you don't want to have an abortion, because yeah, we also have legal and free abortion. You don't pay for it. But as long as you say, okay, so I want to have a child, I'm pregnant, can we go forward? They automatically sign you up for a bunch of pregnancy support thingies and appointments and vitamins and everything until the baby is like 3 or 4 years old is completely free.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'm
even
moving to
care,
Portugal.
even the therapies, everything's free.
It's the
You
same,
can, you know,
like even in Scotland, like in the UK and England, you have to pay for prescriptions, but in Scotland it's free. In England, you have to pay for your education. In Scotland, it's free. You don't pay for it. You don't have to pay to go to college or university. That's all free.
Unfortunately, that unfortunately Portugal is still paid, but I admit it's not much. It was more when I was back in my first year of college. When I started college, in this case university, back in 2011. God, I'm old. 2011, I paid around 1K a year. Now I think it's around 600 euros a year, and we have a ton of supports for people who can't pay that. There's a bunch of supports. Some of them even paid for the entire university fees, but they're protesting to get it also that free. And medicine we pay, but if we have the doctor's, the receipt that we have to go and pick it up, some of them are free and some of them are pretty cheap. Depends on what kind of medicine it is and if it's helped by the state or not.
It's common knowledge that I went through lots of cancer treatments and surgeries. So when I got my first bill for my very first surgery to have the tumor removed completely, it was $250,000.
That would be free in Portugal. You do not pay for cancer treatment.
Yeah,
You would
on
not pay for
that,
that
on
here
top
either.
of
No.
the hospital stay and the chemo treatment that I was about to have. So I'm
Which
looking.
is also free.
Yes, but I managed to get Medicare, which helps a lot, especially since I wasn't working because I was really sick. And I was like, thank God for Medicare, where you only had to pay 20% of whatever the bill was. So I was like, okay, I can do this. But
Still a lot.
it is a lot. Yes, it's insane. It's like I have to have these things or I'm going to die. Okay?
You know, I'm gonna say another thing that's gonna surprise you. Insulin is free in Portugal. You don't
hear
have
my
to pay for
silence?
insulin.
You hear the silence? Chemo
You
drugs
just
and
get it.
insulin and like
free.
life-saving care is the most expensive thing over here because they know that you need it and you will be willing to pay whatever so you don't die.
Exactly.
True.
Exactly.
Freaking rude. And I don't want to get on my tirade about that. But anyway, let us get back to this. So now we're getting to the
True.
fun part.
The topic.
Back to the topic. We're going to talk about our horror stories. Kyle, do you want
Oh
to start?
God.
I very much like this one person will always be in my memory. They were waiting in the queue and it was taking long, and we have a franchise, so it's owned by a certain person, and his face is on the front door, of course. With
Good.
if you like our service, then give me a call and let me know. Of course, people are not going to be doing that. They're going to do the opposite because they hate the place. So the guy's like waiting so long. He's raging. He's furious, and he's calling the business owner, being like, "I waited too fucking long. This is ridiculous." And the business owner calls the assistant manager who's on shift, and he's like, "You need to organize the queue. There's people shouting at me down the phone." So she, instead of going out herself to manage the queue, tells someone who's serving to get off her till and go and manage the queue. So she goes and does that. And then the guy's actually like screaming at my colleague, being like, "I don't want to wait in the queue. I'm being told to organize the queue. I want to know what you're in here. We can organize it and we can know how to get you forward." And he's like, "No, because I waited so long." So I, watching my poor colleague getting ripped through, and I just marched up and I was like, "What's the problem?" And he's like, "Blah blah blah," and I was like, "Okay, Caitlin, I'll take him. You go see the rest of people. You come with me." I'm one of those people. He wants to stand up. He doesn't want to sit down. He wants to stand up, and he wants to shout. And he's complaining because the weather broke the thing that gives the signal at home. And I'm like, "Well, we can't fucking fix that because we're not technicians and we don't control the weather." And all he needed was this little simple thing, and he gets up and he stands right next to me and he's screaming, "I am the fucking customer. You do what I say."
Oh my god.
Like, right in my ear. And I say, "Sir, you can go back over to that side, please. Stop swearing at me. No, sit down." He's like, "I don't care." I'm like, "You fucking sit down." So, and he's still going. I just get up. I'm like, "I've had enough." Go to my manager and be like, "You need to deal with this psycho because he's pissing me off." And then she comes out and she's like, "What the hell is the problem?" And she sorts him out, and we do it together, and then he leaves, and then he comes back like a year later. I'm not really sure. Like, I was like, "Oh, he's an angry person," and he said something, and I went, "Oh my fucking god, it's this prick again." It's like repeating the same thing again, and it is honestly like psychotic. Like going in a circle, you explain it. No, it goes round in a circle, ignores everything you said, goes in a circle, goes in a circle.
They do repeat themselves, don't they? A lot.
Yes. And then we even had one drunk person come in and being furious, and like, he's like, "You need to fix this," and we're like, "No, we don't have to fix it because it's not our problem. It's you broken it." And he's like, "I pay your wages. I own you." And I turned around to him and I said, "You do not own my colleague. You show her some respect. How dare you, sir?"
Oh.
And he's drunk, and then we get the security, and he's like, "I'm gonna punch you," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And he gets dragged out. The police take him away. And of course it happens on the day we ain't got no manners, and it's the three of us sitting there.
Yeah, usually the worst shit happens when there's nobody there to help you, you know what I mean?
And then one person said, "I'm recording all of you because you people are not doing your jobs and you're breaking the law." And we're like, "Oh my god, this is not happening. What's your name?" I'm like, "I'm not telling you my name." And then the security took him out as well. It's just really like aggressive people. It's the people that scream and shout at you, they swear, and they try to get physical without being physical, and they feel like they own you, and they will jump across the desk and try to strangle you, essentially.
Oh my god! Kyle, you need a tack vest at work!
I should live in America. I'd have a gun.
Yes.
Self-defense!
It's very scary. But I have a drunk story as well. When I worked in the pharmacy on St. Patrick's Day, ironically, which was yesterday, the pharmacy was settled in between two bars, a gas station, and a pizza place. So the bars were pretty rowdy. You could actually hear them through the walls singing, and there's an Irish pub on one side and just a weird kind of skanky bar behind us. So they're all singing, and you can hear them drunk outside yelling or whatever. And I'm up at the front register because pharmacy was closed. So I walked up to the front and see if the front needed any help. So I was up there, they're cashing people out, cleaning everything up, and this dude comes over and he slaps money on my counter, and he's like, $5 on pump 5. And I just blink, and I was like, "What?" And he's like, $5 on pump 5. I was like, this isn't a gas station. He's like, what? Where's the gas station? Next door. And he looks and goes, oh, and walks out and just like starts rooming around in the alleyway. I'm like, what the hell is this wrong with this guy? It's like, okay, I'm going home. I'm going home right now because this guy just asked me to put gas in it. Yeah, no. But it's so much fun with the St. Patrick's Day. You know, people screaming and running through the streets, like some of them half naked. It's great. Great.
You certainly get a lot of characters in places like that are near places where they have alcohol, or they get confused, you know, they think we're the competitor. I'm like, yeah, you're in the wrong place. And they're like, am I? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because he really thought that it was at the gas station. It's like, no, it's next door. He just stumbles out and like goes in the alleyway. It's like, I bet he's peeing back there. And then he stumbles back across the street. He's like, you get hit by a freaking car, dude. This is like a main street. What you doing?
I used to work in a place where I used to work in a company that was a mobile shop within a big electronics store. And then people would come up and be like, I need help with a TV. And it wouldn't be like, can you help me? It was, click the finger. I need help with the TV. They turn around and start working. I'm like, stop! I own my cell phones. You'll need to find someone who works on the other side. And they go, bro, can't you just help me with it? Tell me about it. I'm like, I don't know about it. But I just want to buy this. I don't know how to use their systems. You give it a go. You'll probably have better luck. You could do it together if you like. Let's fucking hack the system.
Oh my god, yeah.
Just, you know, you're in this building and you must know everything. You've got to know it all. And people think, you know, you work here, so you must know how to rewire the system to get it to work. I'm like, no, I don't know anything. It ain't happening. I can't know everything, but, you know, I work here, so I must know everything.
Right, of course. Right. I have an interesting pet story. When I worked at the pet store, we had an aquarium section. And there's different departments. There was the aviary where the baby birds and the big birds were being sold, and the aquatic section would have the reptiles and the fish and everything, and then you have the rest of the store, which was mostly toys and leashes and things like that for the pet supplies, basically. But and then we had some birds and small animals up front that the cashiers or whatever took up front of. But I was up front. I was cleaning out the tanks because they get pretty smelly. We cleaned them like twice a week, and the guy in the back that runs the fish department was screaming, stop her, stop her, stop her. And I was like, what? What's going on? He's like, shut the door. So I walked in and I hit the switch and this girl slammed straight into the door. And it's like, what happened? What happened? What happened? And the fish guy tackles her and then they took her in the office. Eventually I found out that she was trying to steal fish in her pants.
What?
She had a bag of water in her pants and she was trying to sneak out cichlids. They're not that expensive. They're like, what, $7, $8? And she was trying to steal them in her pants.
Fish?
Fish.
Like, really?
Like live fish. Literally.
What? That's what?
It's like, what goes through your head? That she was like, oh, this is a good idea. I'm gonna steal fish. I'm gonna fill up a bag of water. I'm gonna stick it in my sweatpants, and then I'm gonna go in and scoop the little buddy out, stick him in my pants, and then I'm gonna run out. It's like, I was confused the whole day after that. I was like, of all the things you could be arrested for, and she was, but for stealing a fish, a $7 fish. Congratulations. Like, if I'm gonna get arrested, it's gonna be for killing somebody. It ain't gonna be for stealing a fish.
I really thought that someone was off their, like, this group of people were off their fucking head.
No.
Trying to steal a demo phone that is, by the way, completely unusable. It doesn't do anything. It can be blacklisted, blocked. It's just a demo. It goes on a loop. And these group of people come in and it's hardwired onto the desk and they pull it out and my god, they pull it and they pull it and they pull it and it rips off and they run for it. And I'm like, this is not even a real thing. But the manager of the store tries to tackle the person. And I'm like, it's not even worth it. And then he gets caught on the POS. He's like, I could have caught that person, wasn't it for your POS? I'm like, are you fucking joking me right now? I could politely put out POS and you're blaming me because it stopped you trying to grab the guy.
At least
like,
yours is a
maybe
piece
it
of
saved your life, they
electronics.
could pick you up.
It's not a fish.
It's the things that people steal make no sense.
Why would you put a bag of water
Nonsense.
in your pants? How long is that gonna last, bruh?
Like, if the fish is gonna die, let's be honest.
Right.
Oh, poor fishies.
And the phone's unusable.
Right.
What's the end goal here, people? What's the end goal?
What is the end goal? Lexi, first horror story.
Well, y'all just reminded me of one that I hadn't think about before, which is
Repressed
I
memory.
remember-
I like it.
this one was hilarious. I mean, the audacity of some people. Like, my supervisor asked me to call this old man that was constantly calling the line because he wanted. No one could understand exactly what he wanted. He was just calling, and some people wanted to try and understand what the heck he wanted because he was messing up everyone's stats by keep calling. You know, we have certain metrics that we have to follow, and one of them is repeat customers that call in short periods of time, like how many times the person called the last 3 days and stuff like that. And the dude just kept calling. So my supervisor was like, okay, so you're gonna call him, you're gonna explain his invoices to him, you're gonna explain why his service is suspended, you're gonna tell him that he has to pay, and you're gonna explain everything. And I'm like, yeah, sure, just another Wednesday. I called the dude, I'm like, so your service was suspended because you didn't pay your invoices. You know, surprise, surprise, that's what happens. You gotta pay. I'm gonna send you the info so you can pay. And the dude, I was like, so it's, you know, I'm gonna open an exception and I'm gonna reactivate your service, but you gotta pay within 3 days. Otherwise, it's gonna be just deactivated again. And the dude, oh, thank you. And then the dude turns to me and said, so, are y'all gonna pay me back for the 4 days I didn't have service? And I was just like, you mean the 4 days that you didn't have service because you didn't pay your invoices? And he was like, yes. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna credit those days for you. And the dude just turns to me, worth a shot.
Oh
That's it.
my
And I'm like,
god.
Like you didn't pay it. Like.
the dude just wanted me to give him like, and I'm like, I'm not gonna pay you for you not having service because you didn't pay. Like, you know, sir. Like, what were you expecting to happen? You didn't pay. The service got deactivated. What a surprise!
What is
We have so many situations like that, especially when, you know, we sell like contracts in like 24-month contract, and someone's like, so I can cancel any time. I'm like, no. Like, yes, you can. Like, if you take a contract for £19 a month and you're 6 months in your contract and you go, I want to just cancel it, you got to pay 18 times by 19. And they're like, but why? I'm like, because you're saying right now, as I'm speaking to me, that you agree to pay for 24 months. Like, how is that legal? I'm like, because it's a legal contract. This is literally what it's like. That's ridiculous. You shouldn't be doing that. And I'm
You
like,
know, if I had €1 for every time I've heard exactly that, I would be eating sushi every day for a week. I swear to God.
And then it's like the inflation rate. So we have like consumer price index.
Oh
inflation.
God, yes.
And then I'm like, so your contract's going to go up by 3.9% plus consumer price index. Like, why? I'm like, because it's a legal inflation rate across the whole country. But why? I'm like, I've just explained that to you. But I shouldn't have to pay that. I'm like, I'm like, I cannot simplify this anymore. This is a standard inflation rate to keep up costs that the whole country is subject to. This is not just you, not just us. I'm not making this up. Our company is not making this up. You have to pay this. Like, but I don't want to. I'm like, well, then don't sign it.
Exactly. Oh my God,
Just
that has been
don't sign
happening
it.
for the past. You know, my all the ISP providers in Portugal raised the prices in February. In this case, starting March, because of inflation. Oh God, the amount of people that have been complaining, and I'm like, ma'am, it's called inflation. You know how you go to the supermarket and the rice is more expensive? Same shit. Exactly the same thing. Go complain to someone else, not me.
And then they say, I was never told. I'm like, did you read the terms and conditions when you were asked? No, there it is.
Yes.
Oh no.
There
Like,
it is.
Kyle, I've done actual complaints. Like, there was a time period that we had to do taken care of formal complaints, like people complaining. And one of the biggest complaint people did is, I don't know if this happens in other countries, but in Portugal, I mean, it's starting to change now because people went to to court, and things are gonna end up in change in the near future. I think a new law is going to be passed, but up until the beginning of 2023, if you had a service installed, like a fiber service, you have a service installed in your home, and you're going to move to another location, like you're going to move houses, and you want to take the service with you to the new house, you would have to cancel the service at the previous address, and you would have to do a new contract for the new one, and you didn't have to pay the penalty fee for the old address as long as you kept the provider. So we're just going to change your address, but you will have to renew the contract to a new place. Now, if the new address doesn't have fiber, well, tough luck, you're going to have to pay the penalty because you're ending a contract within the 24 months that you have it. The amount of people who'll be like, you can't do this. This is legal. Tell me where it is on my contract. And I'm like, it's in section B.7.
That's brutal though, because our one's total opposite of that. Like, if they want to move, then we're like, you don't supply our broadband, we will cancel it for you. That's fine. If you want to move, we will move it, and it will continue the same contract across.
Yeah, that's starting to happen here because a lot of people went to court for it and started to complain. But up until now, it's been working like that. And even now, I think the only reason they can cancel without any penalty is if the reason we can't provide is a technical difficulty and not coverage. Like if we don't actually have coverage, that's okay. But if we have a technical difficulty installing the service and it takes more than 15 days, I think we can waive the penalty. But it's very brutal. But like, it's in the actual contract, and it's very clear in the contract. I don't know about the other
it's in there, so that's fair. You said I agree to it, then
you're assuming people read. I even have a situation sent over. Yeah, from Jen, who apparently has people coming to her who not reading their terms and conditions of the thing about transferring funds from one place to another, because a lot of places you have to have the ability to do that. And she sent me this lovely story about somebody asking her to transfer some money from somewhere, even though it was against the rules because of fraud, and they asked to see the manager because apparently they're thick-headed and didn't read their terms and conditions, because people don't read, okay? They do not read anything except what they want to see. Because it's absolutely clear on every sale thing or whatever. They'll say, but that says it's 3 for $5. Yes, but it has limits. Do you see the limit part at the bottom? You can't buy 46 of this, okay? You don't need 46 rolls of... you don't need toilet paper. That much toilet paper. Put them back.
But I want this price. This says for new customers.
Oh God!
They don't read it, and it just proves it. Like terms and conditions for anything. Like I had a dude literally yesterday wanted to get a loan, like an auto loan, the refinancing through the credit union, but he didn't want to sign up to be a member. It's like, sir, I can't help you. You have to sign up to get these better rates. He's like, well, I want to speak to your manager. It's like, go ahead. He's gonna tell you the same frickin' thing. Please get off of my back so I can go back to watching YouTube. Okay? He was just being disrespectful. He was absolutely talking down to me, and I hate people who do that. It's like you get those people who just do not. It's like, I'm going to boss you around because you're new and you think you don't know anything. I want to talk to a man, blah 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 blah. And he was one of those type of people, and I knew it. And it's like, fine, talk to him. He doesn't care. He's leaving in 2 weeks. My main manager is actually leaving. He's retiring. He's like 63 and should retire. But he just came out and goes, no, you have to be a member to get these rates, or you have to go to your bank. And he was so mad. Dude like stomped out. It's like, bye. Bye. Go get yourself some McDonald's. You'll feel better. But it's just like audacity. Yes, she's talking about it in the chat. Jen, I was reading that story going, oh my God, yes, you can't do that. They want you to do things that absolutely you cannot do, and they sit there and badger you until you do it. It's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Can't do it. Sorry, hands are tied. Sorry, I just went on a rant.
It's so ridiculous. That's where we're from. But some people are just, the audacity. I had one, it was on Thursday, I think. Or yesterday. No, it was on Thursday. Or yesterday. I don't know. One of these days. Either yesterday or Thursday. And like one of the lines that I currently have to, pick up I do like second line stuff, so I call people, but there are very specific lines where I'm actually on the line and picking up calls. They're very specific. They're like for we got the employee line, we have the technical difficulties so that we can schedule just the technical interventions, and then we have another one which is very very rare, which is whenever someone asks for a new SIM card, we send them via mail, but then they have to call us so that we can just activate the SIM number. It's very easy, but it's a free number because you're just calling to activate a number, nothing else.
Mhm.
So it's a free number. You can just call. There's no toll, and people just call. I got the SIM card. Here's the number. Here's the contract that I made. I'm like, yeah, sure. Give it 24 hours. Gonna be done. And I had a lady that called, and she was like, oh, my son, he came home from school and he was on the bus, and he should have 40 gigabytes of internet, and he just got home and he only has 2, and I want to know why. And I'm like, ma'am, you're gonna have to call customer care for that. I can't help you. But this is a free number. You're not gonna help me on the free number? And I'm like, no, you're gonna have to call customer care. And she's like, but I gotta pay for customer care. And I'm like, yes, you do. And you gotta call customer care. If you don't want to go on WhatsApp and talk to the AI, he can help
Yeah,
you
bitch,
too.
go talk to the AI. Nobody wants to talk to them.
Exactly. And she was like, you people are very rude. And then she
Mhm.
hanged up on me.
Mhm.
And 30 minutes later, she called again and got my colleague, which told her, guess what? Exactly the same thing I did.
I love that. I love it.
She was so mad. Funny thing is, I actually opened her account and I'm like, just for shits and giggles, let me see. And her kid did waste 30 gigabytes in one afternoon. So that was not going to be a pleasant conversation to have. Because he did have the 40 when it started the night before. So he probably went like on YouTube or something like that.
Mhm.
And he just, or downloaded some weird ass game or something like that. And yeah, his mom was not going to be like, I have so many stories of moms that just call. We have the two sides of the coins. We have the moms that call customer care because they got a $300 bill and my poor boy could not have done it.
Of course
It's
not.
totally your fault. And you're like, yeah, right, bitch.
He's
And then
watching
you have
porn.
the
You
other
know
one.
it.
It's usually porn.
It's
Either
usually
porn or
porn.
it's usually either porn or it's Google Play or iStore.
You always Google Play, yeah.
Purchase. It's usually that, and it's funny because you have the ones that get very mad and that no, it's gotta be your fault because their sweet precious child could never.
Oh no,
And
not
then
the
you have
precious
the
child.
ones that as soon as you tell them and you're like, yeah, well, it was on
Yeah,
this.
Xbox
There's a
transactions too.
silence.
Yeah, Jen.
It's like a silence, and this really happened once. I was auditing a call for a newbie, and she was like, yeah, so it's Google purchases for this game because it says the description of what you bought, and it was for Candy Crush, if I'm not mistaken. It was Candy Crush Gems. And she says this to the lady, and the lady is like, she does like a compass of just nothing, and then she turns around and you just hear her yell to the kid, and she's like, I am going to spank you so hard, you're gonna pay this with your allowance, blah blah blah. And I'm like, there are still good parents in the world, I see. Good.
Okay.
And then she apologizes to us, and she's like, thank you very much for your help. And then she just turns off, and I'm like, my god, she's actually nice.
Yeah, I wanted to
And
ask you
then-
a question, Lexi. When you do your phone calls, do you actually have a script that you have to go by? Because when I did the call center for the disputes, I had to actually say this big long script before I actually got to start talking to the customer, and they hated it.
We only have a script, and it's very, very short. If we're recording a call, if we're doing a contract, it's very rare for me to do contracts. But if it's happening, I gotta press record, and I'm like, can I have your authorization to record this call? And they'll be like, yes, you do. Okay, so just for legal purposes, this call is being recorded regarding the account number X, and we're talking about your service and the plan. And then I just talk normally from there. I do admit, the job that I'm doing right now, I'm following up on customers. I always have the same task every day unless I work weekends, which is very rare, as you know. And my task is the same every day for over a year and a half now, because I'm on a special project. But I still gotta answer calls. I'm got it. Yeah, it only means I have more headaches, basically. But I'm on a special project, and that special project is basically just following up with customers that are awaiting technical interventions on their fiber structure before we
Divine
can actually install
intervention.
the service. Yeah, and essentially obviously I've been doing this for so long. I have a whole spiel that I already know in
Mhm.
my head. I just, automatic. I'm just like, hi, my name is Alexia. I'm calling from blank. We're calling regarding your fiber request. The box that provides the fiber to your home needs to be enlarged. So we're going to need to do a technical intervention on this line. It can take up to 2 weeks to a month. We'll be monitoring your situation, and I would like to call you back on the blank day, or otherwise I will call you early if everything is taken care of. Is that
Okay.
okay for you? Yes. Okay. Goodbye then. Bye bye. That's
Get
it.
the hell out. No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. I don't know if you.
Honestly, the English customers are harder for me because I get very nervous. Even though my English is good, I get very nervous. But if it's a Portuguese one, I can just be playing on my phone, just blah 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 blah, because I know it from just repeating it so many times. I'm like, yes, it's this, and I'm just blah 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 blah, and I'm playing solitaire on my phone while they're blah 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 blah. It's
Yeah, I don't
amazing.
know if either of you have suffered this, but when I was on the phone, or if I was talking to somebody on the phone, and then I hear, like, well, you know how you can tell where they are in the house or what they're doing, but you can tell if they're in the bathroom. And this
Oh,
one
so
dude was
many.
definitely peeing on the phone, and he
Oh
flushed.
no,
And I was like, "You
no.
motherfucker, better wash your hands before I answer my
Yes.
question." It's like, Jesus, why are you doing that? Why do people talk on the phone in the bathroom? It's the most disgusting thing ever. Do not touch your pee pee, and then touch your phone,
Ma'am.
and then touch me. No.
Ma'am, this wasn't a customer. This was a friend of mine. But once I called a friend of mine, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna call her, ask her if she wants to go out for coffee or something. So I call her, and I'm like, hey, what's up? How are you? And she was like, oh, I'm great. I'm having sex with my boyfriend right now. Can I call you later? And I'm like, why did you pick up?
Why did you answer?
Why would you answer? Unless it's not that good and you can't answer. But still.
No, you could like I could hear the dude's awkward laugh. He was like, I'm like, oh,
Yeah, we don't
God.
want to hear slapping, okay? Just, you could have just texted, no, please don't call me now, not answer it, then call you back
Yeah, or
and say,
just-
see, no.
Exactly. But honestly, I've had so much. Oh, and the amount of customers that you call them and they pick up and they're like, "Yes, I'm in a meeting right now. I can't talk." Or, "Hi,
you
I'm
hear
in
'em
a
fart in the
funeral.
background.
I
No.
can't talk." And I'm like, "Just don't pick up then, and I'll call you later."
Oh, do not disturb modes? Like, have you heard of
Yes,
it?
exactly, Kyle. Exactly. Do you have
I've
weekend
had-
hours at your place, Kyle?
Sorry?
Do you have weekend hours? Do they do service on the weekends?
Yeah, we're open every day, and it's like 9 to 6 Monday to Saturday, and then Sundays are 10 to 5.
Do you notice the weekend people are worse than the weekday people?
You certainly do get different characters at weekend because these are people that are usually working Monday to Friday, and then they save their time for the weekend, and it has to be now because I haven't got time later, and I can't come in to next week, and it's gonna happen now, and I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, they get their
'cause,
panties in a bunch because it has to be now. In your face, it's like, please
never,
stop.
Never. Hurry
Yes.
up. Like I said before, clock in and do it faster then if you want to do it.
Yes, yeah, you fucking do it. But they always seem to have. It's like, no, it has to be now. It's like, please. Like, I had people call me at the CVS and want me to bring their bag of stuff because you could like call in and put your order, and all you have to do is go to the counter and pick it up. You pay for it and everything. And it's like they want me to take the bag to the car. I was like, motherfucker, I can't leave my register, okay? I can't leave this drawer unattended. I can't come out to the parking lot. So I call the supervisor, and he just looks at me and rolls his eyes and walks out and takes it. I was like, no, dude, no, do not give in.
I know.
Oh my God.
Not
Yeah,
doing
that
something I'm not
reminds
supposed to do.
me. That reminds me of a TikTok I saw that was of someone that works in a European supermarket. I think it was in Germany. That was so surprised because Americans, there was an American customer there, and the American customer was so mad that they weren't, packing his groceries.
Yes, we
And
do
like,
that here.
Yeah, no one packs your groceries in Europe. You can pack that shit, and if you go to like Lidl or something, you better be fast because they're like ting 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 ting, and you have no time to pack that shit. You gotta be fast. You gotta be
Yeah,
on
unless
your
you're doing
game.
the self checkout where you check yourself out, somebody else bags for you. There's usually a
Oh, God.
cashier. They usually set up in long strips with a queue line that's gigantic, and then there's
There's
one cashier
no-
and one
I mean,
bagger. So that's two separate
don't-
jobs.
I admit, I'm not allowed to speak for the UK because I've never been there. But in Portugal, there's no way someone's gonna bag your grocery. Heck no. No way. No one's gonna buy you anything.
That gets like scanned down the thing.
And you're gonna pay for your bag too. You're gonna bag it and you're gonna pay for the bag.
Oh
if
no,
you
we
want,
get
'cause it's
free plastic. We like to destroy the environment here. Lots of free
Ma'am,
plastic.
If you go to Starbucks in Europe, I mean in Portugal at least, and I think the rest of Europe is the same. If you go to a Starbucks in Europe, you get a paper straw. There's no plastic straws anymore, and you don't even get a cover. Yeah, if you ask for a cover, like if you ask for a Starbucks to go and you ask for a cover, I once was like, I'm leaving the store. Can you give me a cover? We're not supposed to do that because it's paper and it's bad for the environment, And I'm like, bitch, I paid 7 years for the drink. Just give me a fucking cover.
Yeah, I feel most sorry for the people who work at Starbucks or any of the fast food joints in the drive-thru. They get the most freaking abuse ever. I seen this dude practically lean out of his car to throw a drink on a girl who messed up his order by just a little bit. He threw a drink on her. It's like, you motherfucker, I'm gonna go in there and give that poor girl like a gift card. Why would you do that? You sack of shit. It's just the way people are. It's like, oh my god, seriously? Seriously.
I swear, America is just wild to me.
They will get out and give me my chicken nuggets. You can watch those videos. I will send you guys videos of people banging on drive-through windows just to get like sauce packets for their food. It's like, get back in your car. What are you doing, you idiot?
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, in Portugal, people can be wild when complaining, but no one does that. Like I've never seen anything like that.
Never seen that. I've seen videos from America doing that, but not here.
Oh, yeah.
Like in person, I've never seen anyone like, I'm gonna go fucking Super Saiyan on you right now because you missed out my chicken nuggets.
Yes, you've seen that
I've never
video.
seen that.
I've seen that
In
video.
fact-
It's legendary.
I can tell you when that happens in Portugal, you go on the news. We had a news of someone that this went on news for like 3 days. The poor woman came and apologized, publicly on television because of how harassed she was being. Because she wanted to get out of a garage or something, and there was a dude parked on the street, and it was a Brazilian dude, and she went like full blown racist on the poor dude, and obviously the dude
We're not
filmed
getting
it,
into that.
and she literally rammed her car against the dude's car, like really rammed it. The woman got dragged across social media and national television for like a week.
Yeah.
She went and apologized. Like, we don't have that big of a, we have Karens obviously, but not that atrocious.
Yeah, the worst time of year is the Black Friday. It is like, if you've ever seen the Dawn of the Dead, the original, when they're pounding against the glass, them bitches is lined up 3 a.m. They're ready to get that $40 blender.
God.
It's like, get out of here. Just go
You
home
know-
to your
you know
family.
what- You know what happens in Black Friday in Europe? They raise the prices 2 weeks in Europe. I mean, in Portugal, they raise the prices 2 weeks earlier, so that when Black Friday comes, they can lower it again to the normal, and people think it's a promo.
Interesting.
And I'm not kidding, because I've honestly been like, okay, so I want to buy this. I'm gonna wait for Black Friday because I'm like, I want to buy it cheap. Like I know last year I had my eyes on a headset on like one of those JBL something headsets, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get them. They were just the regular price, but they were like the website said, oh, they used to be 100 euros. Now they're 60, and I'm like, they've been 60 all year long, bitch. They've never been 100 euros.
They mess you up, too. It's like, yes, we're just going to lower this like 5%, so you just don't even know. You're going to buy it.
Oh,
It's a
God.
great sale. No. The people on
Yep.
Thanksgiving are
Actually-
up at Walmart waiting by stacks and pallets. They're not even unwrapped yet. They're waiting. And it's like they got their fork and knife out and ready to fuck anybody up that gets in their way for their blender. It's like, seriously, go home and eat turkey like a normal
God.
person.
You know what? This talk just reminded me. Portugal went through we've been having a lot of inflations. Like, there's been a raise in prices, especially in grocery stores, like a lot. But then last year, like the raise in prices started last year, and last year when the year ended, and all the profits from the several different companies became public. The two biggest grossing companies were one grocery store and one of the main companies that provides I think in English it's still gas, like gas service to warm up the houses and stuff.
Yeah.
Which really upped the prices because of the war.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
The grocery store one was like one of the biggest groceries, but they kept saying that, oh, things are more expensive, so we have to raise prices. So what the government did at the beginning of this year was they sent out a huge operation over to a bunch of supermarkets with the government inspectors, so that they can inspect if the prices were being gouged or something like that. And they found out that those companies were making over 50% profit on a lot of things. So suddenly all the prices went down recently. Like in the last couple of weeks, they went really down. They're back to the normal prices they were before COVID. So it's funny. It's very funny. And I think they're all going to be, they're going to be heavily taxed and fined for all of that. I think it's going to go to court and everything because people are really mad. Because I remember someone did the price check, and what you could buy with 80 euros back in 2020 would cost you 120 euros now. So it's a lot of change for just 2 years, 3 years, basically. So they did that action with the inspectors, and they found out that, like, I think it was on the rice, they were having a profit of around 60%. Imagine having 60% for every bag of rice. It's ridiculous.
Ours is right now. It's gas and eggs. It's like petrol. You guys call it petrol, and
Petrol,
just
yeah.
eggs. That's the highest priced items right now. People are fighting and will kill you over a dozen of eggs. That's how expensive they are. It's like, seriously, we got some golden chickens running around. What the heck?
I heard, because y'all have like a bird flu or something, right?
Yes,
I heard something about that.
Everything is getting expensive and crazy over
Yeah, I haven't. At
It's
least
getting
eggs,
worse.
I haven't noticed any difference. And even diesel and petrol, like it went up a bit when the war started, but right now it's at least diesel, which is the one that I put on my car, it's back to normal. It's 100. Last time I put diesel on my car at the beginning of this month, and I paid, I think it was €1.56 per liter, I think. So it's back to 2020 prices. It's back to pre-war prices at the moment.
All right, guys. Last horror story. Because we're going to run over time because we like to talk. All three of us love to talk.
We do.
All right, last horror story.
That's what happens when you invite me.
I know. You see, oh, it's so chatty, and I love it. See, I picked the right people for this. All right, Kyle, go.
What was the question? Sorry.
Last horror story.
Last horror story.
Last horror story. Oh my goodness! I gave you like a few in a go. I remember someone who had this like issue that they bought something over the phone. Because that goes well.
Oh yeah.
And they obviously missed out essential word refurbished.
Oh yes, those.
And I was already speaking to someone else, and this person marches right back into the store and they throw the box across the room and being like, "This is a scam! You've sold me a used phone! It's got nothing in it! My son told me this is ridiculous!" And I was like, "I'll be with you in a minute." It's like, "No, it's not you right now!" And the other person I'm speaking to had to leave because they felt so intimidated. And they were screaming and shouting and swearing and really picking this box up again and throwing it again. And I was like, "Sir, this is clearly a refurbished phone. I wasn't told this. I'm like, I can guarantee it was. They told you it was refurbished."
Which is not brand new. Refurbished does not mean brand new.
I know. Like you sell phones, it has to be new. I'm like, well, you bought it over the phone. You've just said yes, not listening to anything. And it's your fault, but of course, customers are not allowed to listen.
No.
They're not supposed to listen.
We already established this, that they don't listen or read.
They don't listen. It's that usual shit. That literal usual things where they've not listened or they've done something wrong and because you were standing there representing the brand, or you're representing whatever it is you're doing, they think that, you know, this person is your fault. I've never met you
absolutely your
before,
fault,
but
yeah.
fuck you, it's your fault.
Yeah, you brought out the violent ones. Yeah, I had a couple of violent ones. I had somebody throw a can of cat food at me because they thought it was expired. Nearly clipped my face by like a half an inch. So it's like, oh, okay, you're leaving the store. But my all-time favorite is when I was double attacked by a guy picking up his mother's prescription.
Oh no.
So he gave me the information, and I was looking it up in the computer. Now, keep in mind, there are 5 stations in the pharmacy. The register up front, where we can look up where the prescriptions are, where they are in the queue, and where they are in the bin if they're completed. That's it. We don't get anything else. So I go through and I look and I see one prescription. He's like, there's supposed to be 2. I was like, I only see 1. It's like, well, why isn't there 2 there? It's like, I don't see anything else. He will look through again. I was like, okay. I look through. I was like, no, I don't see anything there. And he was already starting to get the eyebrow twitch, like, oh God, this girl is incompetent. So he dials his mom up on the phone.
Oh no.
In front of me, puts it on speaker. He's like, this dumbass at the front register hasn't found your prescription. And I'm like, did you just fucking call me a dumbass? Seriously? I was about to say, if you give me a minute, I can have one of the pharmacy techs check to see where the prescription is. But he didn't give me that chance. He just kept yelling. And then the lady on the phone gets on and goes, oh my fucking God, they're incompetent. I can't believe that these people, blah, 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 and started swearing. And he's swearing at me, and she's swearing at me. I'm like, what? What? And the pharmacist actually came out from behind the desk and was like, she's like pushing me out of the way and goes, can I help you? And she actually's like, no, I don't want you to come back in the store again. You're berating my staff. You just didn't blah. And it's like, we actually had to have them escorted out because she wanted her pain medication. It's like, that's not how I want to start my shift, please.
You might want to take the pain medication after that.
It's like, first, like 5 minutes into the conversation, you called me a dumbass. It's like, okay, is this how you do things?
Some people don't get that, you know, if you start swearing at me and you start abusing me, that is going to make me want to help you far less. That I'm not going to go out my way anymore. That's it, done. You've lost your opportunity to get the help that I could go above and beyond, and that's gone.
I don't understand how people treat people like that. How do you go and just say shit like that to somebody that you don't even know? It's like, what?
Literally.
What? Why? All right, Lexi, your turn.
I'm trying to think of one that it's, you know, to end with a bang, but you know, when you've been working at a place for so many years, they all clump together. But I can tell you about my first, I'll tell you 2. I'm going to tell you 2. I'm going to tell you one about the pervy customer, and then I'm going to tell you another, which was my first worst customer ever, that it's been 8 years and a half, and I'm still scarred by that call. So starting with a pervy, that was like on my second week working there. One of the things that our TV service has, like all of them have, is porn channels, right? Everyone has porn channels.
Yes, everybody has porn channels.
Yeah, you got Playboy, you got a bunch of others. I have no clue what they're called. But this old dude called, and oh God, this was so bad. Like, imagine tiny Alexia, 20 years of age, working her first job, 2 weeks in, and this dude's like, so what kind of porn channels y'all have? And I'm like, we have this, and this. And he was like, huh. And which one do you recommend? And I'm like, I go to the internet. I'm like, I go to the internet for my porn. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not familiarized with content.
Why would you pay for it when you can actually be on the internet for free? Seriously.
Right. I'm like, I have like a 10-minute talk with this man, and I'm trying to help him how to activate the channel and everything, because we can't do that for the customer. He has to do it on his block. Like, we can, but they don't want us to. So I was being a goody two shoes, like, I'm gonna help this customer. Like, I was still very fresh. Then the dude's like, yo, you know what? My wife's home. Never mind. I'll just do it another time. And then
I love that.
So yeah, that was one of my first pervy. Yes, one of the first. I've had many more, unfortunately. I had dudes like, oh, and you want to go out for a coffee? And I'm like, bitch, shut up. Who the fuck are you? Then the worst customer of them all was this old lady. I still remember her name, and I'm very sorry I didn't save her account so that I could keep up with it. But by the time I saw her account, that was back in 80-ish ago. That woman was the craziest piece of shit I've ever seen in my entire life, and I've seen Karens on YouTube. Like, that woman used to say that she was gonna plant a bomb in our video. She would plant a bomb on our on one of our offices because she think that the only office we had was the one near her, and she was be going there and she was gonna complain in person. The woman had like 50 plus complaints, all written in the official book. She was awful. She kept calling and calling and calling and calling, and like she was already. Like, we can ban customers from calling the support line, but there's one line that, unfortunately, at the time, we couldn't ban them from because it was illegal to ban them from that number. So she kept calling that one, which is the one that someone has to put up with her. I remember once I finished the call with her. I was so stressed. I went on a break. I came back. I picked up another call. This was when I was still doing inbound, so I was still answering calls 24, like, all my shift. And I answered another call, nice lady, another call, nice lady, another call, there comes the bitch again. I spoke with her 3 times that night. 3 fucking times. It was so bad. It was so bad. I'm still traumatized by that lady because she was awful. Also another one. This one, the bomb reminded me. This didn't happen to me. It happened to a friend of mine, to one of my colleagues. He had like the ISP provider where I work from. They have 2 main offices that people know about. They have others for call centers because it's all outsourced. But they have 2 main offices, which is one in Lisbon and one in Porto. And from what this customer said, he worked at a restaurant near the headquarters in Lisbon. And when he was ending the call with my colleague, he was so mad that he turned to my colleague and said, you know what? Every time I see one of you coming out of the building to my restaurant, I'm going to spit in your soup.
Spit in your soup? What the fuck?
We had to send an email to the headquarters in Lisbon and be like, so just so you know, we had this threat, so be on the lookout. Also, my SP provider has procedures for bombing threats. We have a whole ass procedure that we have to do if someone threatens to place a bomb somewhere, which is very fun.
Yeah, that doesn't work well here. And here in the US, you say bomb, you have 5,000 SWAT men pinning you down to the ground.
True. Here people are like, I mean, we tried having it's just so ridiculous. A Portuguese dude tried to do a school shooting, and I'm putting a lot of quotes on this because he didn't go there because he got someone snitched, and fortunately he was arrested before that. But his plan was to go into one of the biggest schools in Lisbon with knives.
Nice.
Yeah, knives. Just knives.
Stabby.
He was very skinny, by the way. How a skinny ass tiny dude with 2 knives thought he could do damage. It's funny when you think about it. Tragic but funny.
Okay.
And besides that, I had one last thing. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna talk about that. That's gonna end the podcast on a very sad note. I'm not gonna talk about that. No, that's it. Those are my stories. Another one very sad. And I don't want to end this on a sad.
No sad notes. No sad notes. We're good.
No sad notes. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, that's the end of the podcast there. We've had our cringy stories. We've had our violent stories. We've had our pervy stories. We've had our peeing in public stories and people can hear you, which is disgusting. We have having sex and answering the phone stories. This is amazing. This was a great, great podcast. And I thank you, Kyle and Alexia, for joining me on this festive occasion.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. It was so lovely to get to vent about something that not a lot of people understand.
Yes. It's something that everybody should think about when they go out to the store, ask for help somewhere, retail, hospital, tech support.
To
just
any
be kind,
worker,
motherfucker.
please.
Be kind. You don't have to be like some rainbows and sunshine out your ass. I'm just talking about be polite, be respectful, don't shout in anybody's face. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking, okay?
True.
Okay? And don't say I want to speak to your manager. James, I'm going to ban you from my chat, okay? But
James,
anyway.
that's enough of your attitude.
Yes, James,
Simmer.
put that in check.
Simmer.
Put that in check. But anyway, if you guys wanna drop off, you can there. I know, Kyle, you're probably tired. You had a full day of work before you came in here. But at least you got to vent a little bit, right?
I did. Oh, thank you so much for having me.
I love you, Kyle.
You. Take care.
Bye.
Just, everyone, please be kind to your
Guys, go
retail
follow Kyle.
workers.
He's an amazing streamer. Has a great community. I love his face so much. Please go
stop.
follow him.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye bye, Kyle. Thank you for coming. All right, so now it's just me and the talks a lot Lexi Lou, who I love the most.
It's me. Hi.
It's you. Hi. All right, so
Me, hi.
Lexi, you can drop off too if you want. That's okay. I'm just gonna talk about what's happening next on the channel.
Yeah, sure. I'll probably hop off, but I'm gonna be in chat because I'm gonna do all the fancy ass commands that we do when you finish.
All right,
stream.
Lexi Lou, I love you
Okay.
so much, and I'm excited for our
Love
future
you.
podcast.
Me too.
Yay!
It's
All
so
right,
fun.
I love you.
Love you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right, chat. Chat. That was an amazing podcast. We got to vent, we got to hear. Now remember to be respectful to people. But we're coming up on, what are we doing? Oh, what's important? Carlos. Thank you so much, Melly, for putting Carlos on my screen and giving me a heart attack. Thank you so much for the 100 biddies. All right, so as for upcoming, I can't even speak anymore. Upcoming streams. Tomorrow, I have no idea, but there'll be a short stream with me and hubby playing something. Then, Resident Evil 4 this weekend coming, and then something on Wednesday. I have yet to figure out what I'm gonna play. I have no idea. So it'll be a surprise. It'll be like, pooh! Surprise! So we'll do that. So, I thank everybody for coming, and yeah, I don't think we have any more podcasts until April 2nd. That'll be the Great O'Malley for April. And then we have, wait. Who else do we have in April? Wait! Oh, we have O'Malley in April, we have Roadon in April, and also the 3-year streamiversary gonna be in April. So looking forward to that. But anyway, I love all of you. Thank you for being amazing, and those who sent in things. Yes, there's the updated schedule. Thank you for sending things in. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Saturday evening. I appreciate it. Let me see if I can find somebody to raid, because we need to raid people, because if we'd like to share. Let's see, who do we want? Whom shall we go and visit? So do you guys want to see Resident Evil 5, Sons of the Forest, Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy, or Batman? No, I love you, Jen. Thank you. Thank you for being here. What do you guys want to do? I'm hungry. I think it's time for food. Where should we go? You're welcome, Banana. I love you. I'm so glad to see you again, joining us. Let's go raid Montana. I don't think I've raided Montana before. Montana. She's playing Metal Gear. Montana. Where are you? Montana. There she is. Montana Creations playing Metal Gear Solid because you can have some solid sneak. I hope she's not leaving, but we're gonna go raid her anyways. Anyway, guys, have a good night. Take care of yourselves. Snuggle up with that kitty cat, read a book, play by the fire. Plot world domination, whatever it is you do, but do it well. And have a pizza while doing it. I love you. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
I'm so embarrassed. First of all, the doggy cave, and then the